Kitchener's the final stop this Grand Prix season, and Canada's two-time world medalists Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir look to go 2 for 2 and propel themselves into the Grand Prix final. While the reigning world silver medalist Patrick Chan makes his season debut, his first and last chance to make an impression before the Olympics in February. This marks the 35th anniversary of Homestead Skate Canada International. 4 times the city of Kitchener has hosted this event. This is the last of 6 stops on the Grand Prix Tour, and for some of these skaters, it will be their last big international competition before the Olympic Games in February. And there is one of the men that will be the case, Patrick Chan. This will be his first competitive skate since winning a silver medal at the World Championships. Well, Championship Figure Skating on CBC, presented by Artistry, is back. I'm Brenda Irving with 4-time world champion Kurt Browning and Olympic medalist Tracy Wilson. We're going to have some compulsory ice dance for you later, but the bulk of the program is going to be all about the men's short program. And Kurt and Tracy, no doubt who's the star here. It is Patrick Chan.
Chantastic. It's all the posters are all going crazy. It's all about Patrick Chan, right. And you know what? And it should be. He's our silver medalist at the World Championships this year. We haven't seen him. There's the injury. There's the Olympics coming. It's so exciting. There's so much riding on this young man. It's all about Patrick.
And of course, we're in Canada, and Canada has such a rich tradition in men's skating, and Patrick is every bit the equal of his predecessor. He is a prodigy. There is no question about that. Fun to watch him in practice. You just don't know what to expect from Patrick. Moments of brilliance, and then Kurt, moments of, what was that? What did he just do?
Well, he's still a kid. Still a kid.
And he acts like one.
Well, he's been in high demand among the media members, but Karen Larson caught up with him a little bit earlier.
Well, Brenda, as you alluded to, when Patrick Chan steps on the ice for his short program tonight, he's facing a triple whammy. It's his first competition of the season, it's his return from injury, and it's the beginning of his Olympic campaign. So, is the 18-year-old nervous? Nah.
I feel great. I feel super excited, motivated to be back, and I tell you, it really sucks to sit back at home and training, and when you could be competing against some of the guys. So it's hard to sit back and not compete.
There has been a lot of pent-up media energy with you now training in Florida,
yeah,
and being a poster boy for the 2010 Olympics as well.
Yeah.
So how has it been coming back to Canada from your training site in Florida?
It's kind of a wake-up call, because you realize how much in demand I get when I'm in competition, especially when I haven't competed in a long time. It was weird to be back and be in that crazy media scrum that I hadn't been in a long time. So it's good and bad to be in Florida, but I really enjoy being in Florida, and I'm also really happy to be back home.
It's good and bad to be in Florida. Expand on that.
Well, the good is the weather.
Right.
The weather, the training site, no distractions. I get to really focus on what I have to do. The bad, I really am alone. I'm seriously like no one else on the ice. I'm the one and only competitive athlete on the ice. And also, when I come back home, I get pretty cold. I'm not used to the cold. I really get used to the heat in Florida. So I tend to get sick quite easily.
Right. So how much pressure is riding on your shoulders here at Skate Canada?
Not at all. I mean, if I don't come home with a medal, if I don't, or if I do, it doesn't matter. I'm here to get my program out and show what the judges are looking forward to at the Olympics. I've made a lot of changes to the programs since last year. Have made great improvements from last year as well. So I hope the judges will notice that.
You've seen him on the ice this week. What do you think?
Moments of brilliance, like usual, but then moments of absolute, where the fans all go, oh, and it's usually around the triple axel.
And we've seen this before. We saw this from Patrick at the World Championships. Practices in practice mean nothing for him in competition. We've seen him step it up. He's got to lay it down here.
He will.
The next competitor representing Italy, Samwell Contesti.
Last year was a career year for Italy's Samwell Contesti. He became the European silver medalist. Also finished 5th at the Worlds. And the 26-year-old is hoping to ride that wave into Vancouver and next year's Olympic Games.
In 2005, he competed at the World Championships representing France. Then he got caught up in the snag of French figure skating politics, was left off the Olympic team and bolted for Italy and is having tremendous success.
His long program at the Worlds last year was, I thought, amazing when he accidentally, as a country westerner, he accidentally fired his rifle, made me laugh out loud. He's got the jumps, he's got the humor. Let's start with his combination. Very patient in between those two jumps, the triple lutz, triple toe, waiting for the right moment to reach back, reload, shall I say, and do the triple toe. Good for him. Huge.
Oh, that was nice. Controlled explosion.
Well put. Doesn't mean anything if you don't get all three jumps passes.
Oh,
there you
hurt.
go. It's my
Saw
fault.
that coming.
It's my fault. Triple loop, he got outside the circle, dropped the shoulder, and can't pull in. You just can't.
He was 4th at the Cup of China. One of his coaches, his wife, Geraldine Zellini, who recently had a baby.
No, he doesn't look tired for a new father. So hard to keep the judges happy with their sheet, turns, changes of direction, edge work, and keep the fun character that he's got in this program. It's a big challenge, and he's doing it very well.
I love how musical he is and his movements are. It's like what the music says, he does.
I should get a hold of whoever does his costumes. I loved this outfit from last year as well. I think it has the flavor, but still looks like a costume without looking like he went into his closet and just wore clothes. Well done.
And we'll have the scores for the reigning European silver medalists when we return to Kitchener.
From Italy, Samwell Contesti. The short program.
Here are the scores for Samwell Contesti of Italy.
67.30.
And a costly mistake on the loop drops him down. He knows it. Love to have that back.
Here's a look at the final flight of skaters this evening. Former world medalist Daisuke Takahashi starts things off. Also in the group, U.S. champion Jeremy Abbott, Michal Brezina, a first-time Grand Prix medalist this season, and skating second to last, Patrick Chan. Daisuke Takahashi is the first Japanese man to win a silver medal at the World Championships. He did that in 2007, but last season he had knee surgery, missed the entire year. And he made his return to competition at home last month, finishing 4th at the Grand Prix of Japan.
The first time I saw him practice, I could not believe how smooth the entrance and exit of his jumps were. But lately, it's become about his artistry as well as the jumps. That's made him a threat. He works his knees like pistons, up and down. Watch this. Not the super high quality we usually expect in him, but that's a check mark, and this is the short program. You need to have it clean to move where you want to. Triple axel really close to the boards. There it is. That's the clean landing we usually see from Dai.
Footwork now into his triple lutz.
Clean.
He wasn't jumping this well at the Grand Prix of Japan. He had 3 jump errors.
As good of a skater as he is, he's also great at building up the tension and ratcheting it up as this program moves along. A great actor and also really good with the hair product. Wow, his hair is always amazing.
You're just jealous.
I am. That's okay.
The one thing I've noticed, though, Kurt, is when he was off and now in making a comeback, he doesn't quite have that pure balance over the blade that he had. He's got some great attack. He's got the knees you talked about, but just not that ease across the ice. He fights for balance just a little bit.
Are you seeing that in practice as well, or is that just the choreography? It's in practice as well. Everywhere.
Jumps and footwork.
Very quick transitions in this footwork, changes of direction though. I think the intensity of the program and the choreography can hide what it takes a trained dancer's eye to see.
And I may be splitting hairs with this, Kurt, but the men's competition is so tight. You have to look for things to separate the very top.
Daisuke Takahashi, the former world silver medalist and 3-time Japanese national champion. And just to put the scores that we're going to see tonight in some perspective, the top score of the season by Perren of around 85 points. And this score, he looks visibly upset here, 76.30. We'll give him first place for the moment.
And a few quality marks lost there.
The next competitor representing the United States of America, Jeremy Abbott.
Jeremy Abbott is the reigning American champion. 2008-2009 was a career best year with many firsts for Jeremy, including finishing first at the prestigious Grand Prix final, something everyone here is trying to gun for. But only a few spots are still left open.
Speaking to Brian Orser, who was watching Jeremy Abbott ringside at his last competition, he said it was one of the best short programs he'd ever seen. Skating to a day in the life, and this is choreographed by Shaylin Bourne.
His jumping style similar to his skating style, relaxed, calm, and under control. I have worked with him. He's a joy to work with, great with his feet. And this triple axel was flying today in practice. Great entrance, smooth, a little tiny bit of a struggle, but right into the choreography. That was awesome.
After a short program in Japan, sat in second place behind Perren by less than 2 points, but then had a really weak free program, and he ended up 5th.
footwork into his triple Lutz.
He made that look amazing. It was slightly leaning, a little tight in the air. That was a struggle, and he pulled it off beautifully.
He just weaves it into the choreography of the program.
Tell this program's choreographed by a dancer with a 1-foot footwork into twizzles. Only dancers are crazy enough to try that stuff.
Use of music, exceptional.
Another strong short program by Jeremy Abbott of the United States. When we return to the Kitchener Auditorium, we'll have his scores.
Jeremy Abbott. The scores, please, for Jeremy Abbott.
Championship figure skating on CBC presented by Artistry is back. Here are the scores now for American Jeremy Abbott. 79, not quite as high as his scores from earlier in the season at the Grand Prix of Japan, but it will move him into first place.
The next competitor representing Czech Republic, Michal Brezina.
What a splash Michal Brezina made in his first Grand Prix event of his career. He finished third in Japan just a few weeks ago. And the 19-year-old is last year's World Junior silver medalist and trains alongside countryman Thomas Werner.
And he loves North American music, skating here to Putting on the Ritz.
Watch for the delay on this triple axel. He will wait before he rotates.
Almost waited too long.
I was going to say. Now he's really unusual in the group where his combination jump is his third element in the program. Here it comes.
Whoa, deep knee on the first triple. Amazing the way he saved that and nailed the second triple.
Not only is a great jumper, but he also really brings the audience in with his performances.
Well, training with Thomas Werner in Czechoslovakia, if they do train together, Thomas is really good at inviting the people who came to see him skate to enjoy watching him skate. Good influence on this young skater.
a bronze medal in his first senior Grand Prix in Japan. It was among a very deep field of men. He was 6th in the short program there, 2nd in the free. This program measurably better than his short at NHK. So, boy, this guy's on a roll.
Well, Tomas Werner is the Czech Republic's biggest skating star, and I'm sure he is the next. Michal Brezina. Now let's go backstage to Karen Larson.
Well, thank you, Brenda. Jeremy, there's a little bit of magic that happens when you skate that short program. And it's not me saying that, it's Kurt Browning, who knows a lot about figure skating. So why does it work so well?
I mean, it's a piece of music that I absolutely love. And Shayla and Bourne choreographed it, and I mean, it's brilliant choreography, and I think it suits me very well, and I feel very comfortable. And every single day that I'm on the ice, I never dread doing it. Like, I'm always excited to do the program and excited to work on it and make it better, and so that I can perform it like I have been.
Great job tonight. Good luck in the free program.
Thank you so much.
Brenda?
Thanks, Karen. Well, Michal Brezina set a new personal best at his last competition of 70.80, and this tops that by about a point. 71.92 will leave him in 4th place.
The next competitor, representing France, Alban Preaubert.
There's a look at the leaders of the moment. Jeremy Abbott of the United States in 1st place, followed by Daisuke Takahashi and Dennis Ten. And it was a tough season last year for the man on the ice right now, France's Alban Preaubert. He missed the World Championships despite a 5th place finish at the Europeans. He lost his spot to Yannick Poncereau, who finished 1 spot ahead of him at Europeans.
And if you're thirsty and thinking of going to the fridge, now's not a good time. This guy is fun. And as you can tell, there's probably an invisible horse on the ice with him. Always interesting. His jumps always exciting, if not a little chaotic. Triple flip, triple toe clean. He has a tendency to be really loose in the air. He almost leaves his head sideways sometimes. He's building up speed for that triple axel. Whoa! Yeah, how does he do that?
Pure force and will.
Maybe it was the horse.
Alban loves to pick music that plays on the crowd. He is always a wonderful character on the ice.
Well, until that moment, it looked like he had the wrong outfit on with the wrong music.
The familiar strains of the William Tell Overture. Hang on.
Barely.
Here we go.
Looking more like a rodeo than a horse race right now.
Well, he's in a horse race with 2 other Frenchmen who are trying to hold on to one of those 2 Olympic spots. His GP scores right now trail Florent Amadio by 8 points and Yannick Poncereau by 6 points.
Wouldn't you love to have him in Vancouver, though? Always unique. Giddy up.
What do they say sometimes? It's not what you paint, but the space you leave between. So many skaters with better edges, better quality, better extension that are not getting this sort of support from the audience. He knows his strengths. And he's ahead by a nose.
Well, one thing you can say about Alban Preaubert, he's a crowd pleaser wherever he goes. The crowds love
And the last time he brought an animal on the ice, it was a fly that he chased around. Who knows?
The short program score is...
Waiting for the scores now. For the scores for Alban Preaubert.
Oh,
there they
way
are.
up for him.
72.3. That's about an 8-point advancement from his short program score earlier in the season at the Grand Prix of France.
The next competitor, representing Canada, Patrick Perren.
Skating fans have been waiting all season for this. Patrick Chan's first competition. This may be his last before the Olympic Games. As we mentioned off the top of the show, he had to miss the first Grand Prix event earlier in the season because of a calf injury.
Every skater waits for that explosive takeoff that allows you to know that you're okay. He didn't get it. Second guessed himself. The right hand went down, and so did he. Great fight to save the combination. Won't be a triple-triple today. Little buzz from the crowd as he had to struggle to stay alive in that spin, which he did. He's a fighter. The circular footwork step. Well, something is off because that spin fell away from him. I was going to say, Tracy, that his circular step was twice as big a circle as the rest of the competitors. His ability to create speed and momentum while using the upper body and all the edge work is amazing.
That sets him apart from everybody. His natural power, his curves. But today, what's different about Patrick is his ease has been replaced by tension.
He's back, not classic Patrick Chan. This is obviously still a work in progress.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, this is absolutely not the start that Patrick Chan wanted, expected.
Now it's time to weave that mental magic and find a way to make this a positive.
It's tough. This is the short program. We talked about wanting to stay in the game, and all of his fine qualities, yes, they still stand out. But a number of deductions here for Patrick. And it was like he kind of got off the game plan and just tried to fight for it instead of easing into it.
They are. You did your best.
There he is with his coach, Don Laws, and his choreographer.
The only thing I really saw completely different is how high his arms were in the rotation position. Very high. That shows me that he went in with tension and didn't have the long neck that dancers use to relax. Everything upper body higher than it should be. And when a skater is really in tune with what's happening, their body is down into their feet and into their knees.
And you
the
can
upper
see
body
his
gets
shoulders
tense.
there. You can just see flying. And what happens is the tension rises, as you say, Kurt, into the shoulders. You lose your feeling of your knees. You can see the mistake here on the spin. It all becomes effort.
Well, there's so much pressure on him here in Kitchener. He is a real star everywhere in Canada now. You see him all the time on television. He has McDonald's ads and Cheerios commercials.
But there's always pressure at this level, and I think one of the ways to diffuse it is spreading it out over different events. He just hasn't been able to do that. And he said, yes, the break, because of the injury, not having to go to the other Grand Prix is something that he needed. I think that it's like Alyssa Cisney in the ladies event is just getting out there and competing every single chance you get.
And the pressure just builds as you delay your first time out there.
I agree.
Everybody has been out. They've done their job. They're all sitting back, arms folded, saying, okay, let's see what you've got.
Hey, the first 2 or 3 shows of a tour are always hard. 15 to 18, not so hard. So get out there and do as much as you can.
Sitting in first place right now, Jeremy Abbott with a score of 79 points.
The short program score is...
All right, here we go.
68.64. Patrick is currently in 6th place.
Unusual news for Patrick Chan.
His personal best score is around 89 points, just to put that score into perspective.
I don't see them. 68.
Patrick asking about his component score. And
The final competitor.
38 points there. He was in the 7s.
7 out of 10. It's usually in the 8s.
Here's our final skater of the evening, Kevin van der Perren, the reigning European bronze medalist. The 27-year-old tore his Achilles heel this summer, missed 8 weeks of training, and that may be the reason he struggled with his jumps in his first Grand Prix event of the season. He was 5th at the Cup of Russia.
Kevin's kind of known in the skating world as master of the triple, 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 or even quad triple, triple combinations. You won't see that today. That would cost him points, actually. It's just not requested by the judges, but it's pretty impressive to see it. It's definitely one of those skaters. His happiest place is up in the air. His first jump, the triple axel. Not today. Queen. It's been difficult for Kevin to gain any momentum as a competitive skater. He spends a lot of his time injured, and that's hard, really, to build yourself up into the ranks. He's also known for his jumping and his outfits. This one, I think, a throw off from Battle of the Blades of Glory against that movie. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's Nice.
It doesn't surprise me, though, about the injuries. If you look at his style, he's not a fluid, loose skater. He is quite tight. You can see here in the footwork, very little speed. He's not using the pistons of the knees, as you described earlier, and creating that momentum. It's all about torque. And this affects not only his second mark, which is the component mark, but he also doesn't pick up a lot of marks for quality of the elements.
So very important not to miss any jumps.
Kevin van der Perren, the 27-year-old, is the most successful skater from Belgium in more than half a century. Saturday on Sports Weekend, in between skating sessions from Skate Canada International, check out the World Bobsleigh from Lake Placid, New York. We've got that at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific tomorrow. The score to beat right now is Jeremy Abbott's score of 79.
I think that's going to hold.
Yes, 58.86 there for Kevin van der Perren. A tough outing for him here in Kitchener tonight. So that means after the short program here at Homestead, Skate Canada International, Jeremy Abbott, the United States, is in first place. In second place, Daisuke Takahashi of Japan. And from Kazakhstan, Dennis Ten. Patrick Chan is in sixth position. Now let's head backstage to Karen Larson with the reigning world silver medalist.
Thanks, Brenda. Well, Patrick, that just seemed to be a short program where you were fighting it almost from the very beginning. What's your account of what happened out there?
You know what, it's a great preparation. I was ready, you know, I had a plan into the warm-up. I wasn't just sitting there, you know, pondering, waiting to go on the ice. I really was ready. I had something set, had the time set, and everything was ready. But you know what, it's to be expected in a way. It's great to be out there in the first time, and it's the first time out, so you know, what can I expect?
How much of a fight will you have in the free program?
No fight really. Just go out with the same plan like I had for the short. It's not like I had bad preparation for the short. It's the same I'm gonna have for the long. I'm more excited about the long because I know the judges are so excited to see it, and I'm excited to perform it.
Great, Patrick. Thanks for doing this.
My pleasure.
Brenda?
Here in Kitchener, Ontario, it's the American champion Jeremy Abbott in the lead after the short program. Championship figure skating on CBC presented by Artistry is back, and we're going to get to the ice dance compulsory competition and Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer in just a moment. But first, to wrap up the men's event, it was really a tough night all in all for Canadian men. We have Jeremy Ten, who finished 12th. Joey Russell was 9th. Patrick Chan was 6th.
Well, ever had a bad day?
Oh, I've had lots of them.
And in figure skating, Kurt, there's such a fine line between attack and relax, and just finding that balance. And perhaps Canadian men, including Patrick Chan, trying a little too hard.
Well, Tracy, you were talking about that wave of momentum and flow and ebb and power that can come from a home crowd, and that's what Kitchener had here, a really great, powerful wave. And like you said, you want to ride that wave, but you don't want it to bury you, and maybe this was a good test for what's coming in Vancouver. For Joey Russell, it was brand new for him.
And not a bad result for him or a bad skate, but for Patrick and Jeremy, and for Patrick in particular, you know, there's no way of simulating this kind of pressure and expectation, etc. And so hopefully he can put this behind him, learn from it, realize, okay, I got to get my shoulders down, I've got to do.
He's talking really positive about the long program tomorrow, and in his words, maybe that's why I came here, was to get the new long out.
And quickly, the U.S. champion, the leader after the short program, Jeremy Abbott.
Talk about somebody who learned how to win. Last year, he learned how to win, and then it kind of fell away at the end of the season, but he's back. And Yuka Sato, a world champion in her own right, is very calming effect on him. He looked on fire, really a real slow, smoldering kind of fire, but on fire.
Well, now to the ice dance compulsory competition. There are 3 segments to the ice dance event. This portion worth about 30% of a skater's of her team's mark. For Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer, it's another opportunity to grow those scores before the Olympic Games.
Yes, and each time out, they want to show the international panel they're worthy of Olympic gold, and they sure have been turning heads here in practice. Now they just want to put it onto competition ice.
Well, let's take a look now at the performance from earlier this evening. And they won their first Grand Prix event of the season and looking to continue to grow those scores here at home in Kitchener.
So the compulsory dance for this competition, the Tango Romantica. Compulsory dances like the scales of the piano. It's all about good technique. And for this competition, all of the skaters do the same step to the exact same tempo of music.
In fact, you can see the pattern on the ice where the other competitors have been doing the dance before Tessa and Scott took to the ice. So crisp and aggressive and confident in every move are these two.
Some people will watch an ice dance compulsory competition and find it boring because everybody's doing the same thing. I love it because it allows you to compare oranges with oranges. And it's really being able to find the subtleties of the dance and watch how these two use a wonderful free legs, the unison, body shapes to get the character of the dance. And the more speed you have, the more curves you have to create on the ice. Make room for the extra flow, and that's what the judges are looking for. Also, if you look down at the feet, the blades have to be precise. You're either stepping on an inside or an outside edge. Every step exact.
Which is not hard to do if you're not doing the upper body accentuating, maybe leaning the other way. And that's what these guys do so well. They add to the difficulty within the set dance. It is the only, sorry Tracy, but it's the only place in our sport where any of the competitors do the same prescribed steps. And like you said, you can really compare. And they just shine through.
Brenda, this was a spectacular performance.
Well, they
totally had my attention, and as you're about to say,
a personal best score for Tessa Virtue, Scott Moyer, of more than 40 points. We see Pechelet and Borzat in second place, and Weaver Poget, Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poget of Canada in third position. So tomorrow is the original dance, and Kurt and Tracy, what can we expect there?
Well, we can hope for Tessa and Scott. That was the best compulsory score this year in international competition. We've watched their original dance. What did you think, Kurt?
I thought the triple axe was a little shaky, but everything was pretty good. I think Caitlin and Andrew, our second dance team here, beat a couple of teams that they've never beaten before this season and in the past, and that was a good day for them as well.
Well, a reminder that tomorrow we're going to have all the coverage that starts tomorrow afternoon. Certainly as well, we're going to have the women's competition and the men's as well. There's a lot going on here at the Kitchener Auditorium.
Virtue and Moyer's OD, it is spectacular. Make sure you tune in for it.
So that's tomorrow on the main CBC network. It's the original dance, the Paris free programs from 1 to 3 Eastern, and then we're back at 4 for 2 hours of coverage of the men's free program. And there's American champion Jeremy Abbott, the best of the best in the men's short program tonight at the Kitchener Auditorium, and Canada's Tessa Virtue, Scott Moyer, leaders after today's compulsory ice dance program. I'm Brenda Irving for Tracy Wilson, Kurt Browning, Karen Larson, and the rest of the crew. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.